Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Luke Thornton on Talking College Football. All right. So, pretty soon we're going to drop our top 12. I know we've been hinting at who's in there and who's not right now. So, let's go ahead and let's get around to it. Number 12. By the way, guys, just to let you know, on our voters, the people who voted, there were only 13 teams that received votes for our top 12. Okay. The other one, we're not even going to mention who they are, but at number 12, we've got Clemson, Florida State, Oklahoma, Illinois so that's 12. And there's numbers aren't next to it. Illinois, Notre Dame, Georgia, and then we get to Texas. And so then at number 5, we have Oregon, Miami, LSU, Penn State, and our new number 1, and they look dominant, is Ohio State. Now, you guys are also voters in this. And listen, any of our viewers, if you want to vote, just go to the description below. Tell us that you want to vote, fill out our form, and you can make a vote as well. Okay, you just have to follow the rules when we send it out to everybody, and read the instructions on how to do it so you get counted in there properly. Guys, any questions on any of these teams as to, are you guys all satisfied with who's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's almost identical to what my personal vote was. Besides a few that I switched, like back one, forward one. Like, I thought Miami should be above LSU, but I'm not too angry about that. Just I thought that Miami's win was more impressive than LSU's. During week 1 at least, and week 2 they were. They both played kind of lower level teams, so it wasn't as much. Texas and Georgia, I may switch, but same thing. Georgia, we haven't really talked much about because they're kind of just doing what they're supposed to do so far. We'll see them play against Tennessee
when they play
next
Tennessee, we're going to find out what they're all about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, mine was a little bit different. I was looking at Ohio State at number 1. I was looking at Oregon 2, LSU 3, Miami 4. That's the way I voted for the top 4. And I'll be honest, I did not have Clemson in my top 12.
Yeah.
I voted for.
So that means that you had the
I was the one person who voted for that one additional team, and I thought it should be Iowa State, and I voted them in, and that's why there's more than one person who makes the decisions on the top 12, right? All right. Anwar, any comments?
Yeah.
On the top 12?
Yes. So, a lot of people are going to question like us moving Ohio State over Penn State in terms of the 1 and 2 spot. Penn State a little bit disappointing this week. I know they won 34-0 against a bad team, but really their resume doesn't stand up to Ohio State's right now. And I expected a little bit more out of Penn State in week 2. I'm not saying they absolutely won, and it wasn't close, but really, like, if you watch the game, their offense seemed a little bit out of sort, and that could be because they just know it was a weak opponent. They played FIU, so I expect a little bit more, and so I'm okay with Ohio State jumping Penn State. I had that jump last week as well, but I'm okay with that coming to fruition this week. You go down the list, you've got Georgia there. Like Dan said, we haven't been really talking about Georgia. They beat Austin P 28-3.
We'll talk about them this weekend after they play Tennessee. Huh?
Right. But talk about another team that did not look that strong offensively in their week 2 game. I don't think Georgia, like, going 28-3 against Austin P. Plus, Gunnar Stockton did not look great. The running game doesn't look amazing right now. But like I said, we're going to have to just hold off talk on Georgia until after this week they play Tennessee. And then Clemson at 12. Yeah, Clemson went down 16-0 at half against Troy. Cade Klubnik is kind of took his name off the Heisman list. Cade Klubnik was the number 1 person going into the Heisman list, and bro has found a way to take his name off of the list within 2 weeks? How do you take your name off of the Heisman list in 2 weeks? I know you played LSU, but come on, man. Like why are you reverting to a previous stage of yourself? It just doesn't make sense to me. Clemson doesn't have a running game.
What?
They
We're
have a
young
good
guys.
game this week. Georgia Tech. Yeah. They play
That's
Georgia
going to be
Tech
a
this
good
week.
game.
So I think that's
Yeah.
the game, and that could be a potential upset game. So if we're looking forward towards week 3, um, there's definitely some teams I want to keep an eye out on. Obviously, I want to keep an eye out on Notre Dame. They play Texas A&M this week. Can they bounce out? Can they bounce back? That's going to be a huge game. I'm looking at this Alabama-Wisconsin game as well. This week, we actually dropped Alabama out of our top 12. Yeah, we dropped Alabama out of our top 12. Can they get back on the top 12 after this game against Wisconsin this week? Depends on how they look. Wisconsin's also a team that's struggling. I don't know if it's a great opponent to judge things off of, but if Alabama wants to get back on our top 12, they're going to have to beat Wisconsin handily. But I don't think that's a game you want to overwatch.
Can I make a point about that Wisconsin? I thought for them
Yeah.
to retool the offense around a brand new quarterback after their starter and the one you've been practicing with in the spring and all summer and the early fall gets hurt and you got to go all brand new, knowing that you got Alabama coming up. I thought Wisconsin played really well. That's just me.
Yeah. I respected them for that, especially like they lose Billy Edwards and then they're having to go a bit with the backup already within week 2. Good shout out right there. Definitely taking their circumstances and making it work. Luke Fickell did a pretty good job with that. So we'll have to see how they do against Alabama week 3. And lastly, the Clemson Georgia Tech.
Who are you taking on that? I know I know we're going to be talking about the big games later on, but who are you taking in that? Because where is that game? Is that at Georgia Tech? Or is
I don't know.
Is it because it's the first road game for Clemson, right?
It might be.
Yeah, that's at Georgia Tech.
That's at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Give me Georgia Tech. Give me Georgia Tech.
This is not a gambling show, but I kind of agree with you,
Yeah.
So we got some, we're going to do something this time that we normally have not done in the past. As the show evolves, there's some other things to talk about. So we just talked about Georgia Tech and Clemson, but this week we got some big ones. We got Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We got Alabama, Wisconsin, which we talked a little bit about, and Georgia, Tennessee, which we've talked about all of those. But I think, we did a preseason poll. We're doing a current weekly poll. I think this is the week 3. It's really the 4th week because there's a week 0. So this is week 3 when we start to figure out who are the real players and who are the pretenders, right? I think we're getting ready to get there. So what I think, you guys, do you want to start ranking the teams based off who we think is going to be? Let's keep our format that we have until, like we said, the week 10 when we start ranking them about who's going to be in the playoffs and everything. That way, we don't have to worry about that if it's a group of 5, unless unless the USF team proves that they are a top 12 team, then we'll vote them in there. I think we've been pretty honest with these teams.
If they beat Miami, they'll be in the top 12. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they'll be easily in the top 12 there.
Yeah. I think so. Because what Miami's on our poll, number 14, man. They're number 4.
If USF beats Miami, they'll have no problem. I have no problem putting them at 12-12. But they got to do it.
I mean, look at Florida State jumped all the way up. They're number 11. So they're doing that off that win over Alabama, and they're looking strong. But when it comes to this show, when we talk about a team, we're not saying I like Notre Dame, I like Ohio State, I like Michigan. We're saying we like college football. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I want you to look at our preseason show where you can see that. And I want you to look at our week 1, see how consistent we've been as a panel and those people who vote for us. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next Thursday at 10 a.m. That's when this show will air.